Back on Get Up, and we're not even having anyone take a guess at this because no one here would have gotten it right. Before the Warriors last night, what was the last team to make 5 consecutive championship rounds in any major pro sport? The answer is the New York Islanders of my youth. They made the Stanley Cup Finals 5 straight years
You figured it was
from 1980 to 84.
You figured it was the Islanders?
I promise you I was thinking Wayne Gretzky's team, but I couldn't.
Yes.
Why did you just say
well,
that?
you had the right sport. That is a Gretzky's
team ended the streak.
But whatever. Here's how the Warriors got there last night. With the finishing off a sweep of Portland last night. He's taking a deeper look into 2 huge shots late in overtime, thanks to second spectrum. With the shot clock winding down, that's Draymond Green. They always say, as Jalen does anyway, he's open for a reason. Green shooting from that spot, a 30% chance to make it. He would score 18 last night, and that would give Curry his 11th assist. Huge shot.
Obviously, in that situation, we want Steph to have the ball. We want Clay taking the shot in that situation, but, I mean, they were swarming him. And so I was just talking to him like, watch out, watch out. And he passed me the ball, I just let it go. But when I shot it, it felt good.
Draymond Green was so good in this series, it was ridiculous. And then on the ensuing Blazers possession, after a Damian Lillard shot was blocked out of bounds, there's basically 3 seconds left, and the Blazers are inbounding, and you see all the defense with Klay Thompson all over him. Lillard winds up taking a very difficult shot from the corner. He had a 30% chance to make it, according to second spectrum. Same percentage chance. And there you go. In the end, it winds up being the Warriors who advance. And then very interesting quotes from Draymond afterwards to our Nick Friedel. He said there's been so much talk about, the Warriors before Kevin got there, they were great. Baloney. I'm cleaning that up. We were damn good. I think we were a very good team who was tough to beat. When Kevin came here, he made us unbeatable. When DeMarcus came here, it made people scratch their heads even more. And so we need those guys. The next series is going to be tough, and I hope and pray that we can get him back. Our goal is obviously to get all 3 of those guys back. We know we're a good team with who we have, but those guys make us great and almost unbeatable, and we know we need Durant. When he says 3 guys, he's talking about Cousins. They played without Iguodala last night. And then, of course, Kevin Durant is the big one there. And so we're going to do a little reckless speculation here. And we acknowledge ahead of time that that's exactly what this is. But I always say, after doctors, no one knows more about injuries than football players. You've had the injury that Kevin Durant has. What do you expect going forward?
I don't expect him to play anymore this season. Look, when you talk, I don't know the grade, right? You have grade 1, grade 2. A grade 2 is a slight tear. And when you tear a calf muscle, the rehabilitation process takes at least 6 weeks. At least 6 weeks for your muscle to reattach and heal, for the scar tissue to start breaking down, and then the rehab to get the strength back.
And that's one of the things that they talk about. We've all seen now this sports science. It's like, he's on the court. He's doing some light running. He's doing some light walking. He did some shooting, some 3-on-3, some full court. So there's like all of these tiers of things that you're doing. You know what they said after he got reevaluated? I think the injury might be worse than we had thought, right? So if he doesn't play in game 1 or game 2, he's done for the series. And I'm not saying he can't play, it's 100%, but he's very, very far away, like more far away than they're definitely letting on.
And it's critical too, because you can re-injure it.
Yep.
Like that's the problem. Like the time frame, you have a window of when a guy should be back, but especially in this game,
and you're doing this with, he's about to be a free agent, and on top of it with a guy that tore his Achilles.
What we hear from some people is that actually Cousins is closer to coming back at this point than Durant. I've got 10 seconds for you. Without Durant, do they still if they get the Bucks in the finals, do they still beat them without Durant?
I don't think so.
You think Milwaukee wins the championship if KD doesn't play? Agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Okay. That means it'll be fun as we continue working our way towards the finals, which start a week from Thursday. Meanwhile, in the NFL, we have news, and it's not good. Cowboys running back Ezekiel Elliott was put in handcuffs at a Las Vegas music festival, was not arrested. This was a story first reported by TMZ. Elliott pushed a security guard to the ground. The guard refused to press charges. Elliott was released. The Cowboys and the NFL are aware of the incident. So for more on this, let us bring in NFL insider extraordinaire Adam Schefter. Schefter, given his history, which of course includes a 6-game suspension for violating the personal conduct policy, how is the league looking at this incident?
Well, Greeny, he was not arrested. He was not charged.
and he was detained, but he was let go in time to go back to Dallas to host his youth football camp on Sunday. So when you look at the video, clearly Ezekiel Elliott didn't do himself any favors here. He goes over to the guard, sticks his shoulder into him, shoves him down to the ground, as you see on the video. Look, when you're Ezekiel Elliott and you're angling for a new contract and you know you have the history that you do and you know basically all eyes are on you, your behavior must be beyond reproach at all times. And you've got to make better decisions than that. But that doesn't mean that the NFL is going to look at an incident in which there was no arrest and there were no charges and all of a sudden discipline him or suspend him. I'm sure the league will look at this. I don't suspect right now that it will wind up in any sort of discipline, but the league does what it wants over time. And Ezekiel Elliott, as he moves forward, has to be smarter in some of those decisions that he makes in his life.
No question. I want to talk to Marcus about that in just a second, but I did want to get from you one other thing, and that is Gerald McCoy, longtime star defensive tackle in Tampa, released yesterday. What does his future in the NFL look like?
Listen, I think there's going to be interest in him. I expect the Cleveland Browns to be interested. I expect the Baltimore Ravens to be interested. I expect the Los Angeles Rams to be interested. The Atlanta Falcons, where Raheem Morris works on that coaching staff, used to coach McCoy in Tampa and knows how valuable he is at that point in time. And I think Gerald McCoy is looking for a place where he can win. Of course, look, he wants to get paid. Everybody wants to get paid. But he's going to want to go to a place that is competitive, that has a real chance to go to the playoffs, a real chance to compete for the Super Bowl. That's not something he's had a lot of success doing in Tampa. Those are the things that are important for him. I think he'll get signed this week, Greeny.
Okay, so it'll be that quick. Shefty, well done. Thank you so much. We'll check back with you. I want to bring my swagoo into this here, and let's go back to Ezekiel Elliott. And for those who don't know, you played for the Cowboys. You make your home in Dallas. You're as plugged into the situation as can be. And so I'll just give you the floor. As we saw what we saw from Ezekiel Elliott and heard what Shefty said, what is your reaction?
My reaction is, look, these narratives are created by the individual. And Ezekiel keeps finding himself in these scenarios time and time again. And herein lies the issue, G. When you start talking to, you and I had a fight, our first fight on television about Ezekiel Elliott's contract and what value would you put into that. Jerry Jones can love you as much as he wants to love you. The number one thing you have as a running back is your numbers and your availability. All right, and now, like, these things keep popping their head up. It was a couple years ago when Zeke had an incident in Dallas, and I said, look, at some point, you become these incidents. And now it's teetering into that territory of this is who Ezekiel Elliott is. I've really become more reserved on going in on guys because I don't know the full situation. But looking at this video and then going through the history, like that is who you are. People are going to begin to think that is who you are. These things are going to continue to happen. Obviously, he was liquored up, and that liquor ain't for you, boy.
All right, and so super quickly, do you believe this will give them pause or have any impact whatsoever on their decision whether or not to sign him to the huge money deal this offseason?
Not at all. There's Jerry Jones, and he's dealt with these issues more than any other owner, and he's shown us that these type of issues, he's more prone to reward a guy as opposed to some other organization.
We have a lot of other football notes to get to today, and we will with Swagoo. But coming up next, Magic Johnson. Again, he thinks LeBron James' future in L.A. is bright. We'll tell you why he thinks that, and more importantly, whether he's right or not, right after this. Get Up on ESPN.